football as long as I possibly could. And, you know, I got to do it for a very, very long time. And not everybody gets that opportunity. So I'm very happy to have had that. I want to thank everybody on the Hall of Fame committee, all the people who supported my nomination, and all the people out there who continue to make the University of Chicago Athletics program as amazing as it is. I mean, it was getting better when I was there. We were being serious, the programs were getting great, but now it just seems to be through the roof. So I'm impressed by the leadership that's managed to do that from the top down. It's amazing. I want to thank my parents, Terry and Maureen. Although they didn't know much about football, and even after 16 years, probably still don't, they were willing to let me play, and they practiced with me, and they pushed me to work my hardest on the field in the classroom, so thank you for that. I want to thank my little brother Mike, who's not that little anymore, but will always be my little brother, for being my first, longest running, and fiercest competitor. So he worked hard, he got to wrestle to Northwestern University, and that impressed me, because I didn't think he was going to do much out of anything, but he turned out to be a heck of an athlete, and there it goes, I don't know. I want to thank all my coaches, from Pee Wee football going all the way back to Bentonville, Illinois with the Bandits. Despite maybe their shortcomings, like telling me to run with my head down at people, or before a game to step on a dead fish to prove how tough we were, they still all had something to contribute to my success, I think, in some way. Maybe not, but maybe they did. I want to thank my coaches at Fenwick High School, who some of whom have passed on, but were amazing coaches, amazing people, always taught the right way to play football, which isn't gouging people's eyes or stabbing people, but was fun nonetheless. And I held on to it, and I was able to play safely and in a really the right way throughout my entire career. And the coaches at the University of Chicago, especially Coach Kelly, who molded me into the player that I became, and Jeff Sokol, who recruited me and really convinced me that Chicago was the place for me. And even Coach Maloney. I want to thank my teammates, who some of them are here today, Rob Myers Muggles, Mike Healy, Joe Polineski, and Mikey C, who's here for somebody who's a better athlete and human being than me, but they're still here, so that's nice. And I want to let you guys know that you here, and even the other guys out here, even Andrew Maloney, I could not have done it without any of you. I needed you guys there. That's what, like Jennifer was saying, the team's all about. It's about everybody. Everybody who's out there, every single one of us makes a difference, and one guy can't do it. They can do a lot, but they can't do it all. So I want to also thank all the great fans out there, some of whom were mentioned before, but especially the original super fan, Bernie Del Giorno, and the late Ray Gadke, who gave me my cushy gig working in microforums. It really made my athletic experience feel big time, you know, like one of those sweet D1 guys. Rest in peace, right? And last but not least, I want to thank my wife, Kay, who I met during O Week and was always there to support my athletic efforts, to train with me, and to push me to work my hardest. Her success on the soccer field helped motivate me to be the best that I could. And although she may have been to the Final Four multiple times, she'll never have the sweet taste of a 5-4 UAA championship. I love playing football, and I especially love playing at the University of Chicago. Like the classical Greeks, I believe that athletics are as integral to the formation of great citizens as academics. And it was amazing to be able to play football, a sport for meatheads, with people who shared that philosophy. Or for that matter, even knew what the word philosophy meant. You know, sports help develop some of our greatest virtues: persistence, courage, discipline, and leadership. And they help form our identities. And they give us a chance to experience heroism in the face of adversity. And even though athletic ability may not be necessary for success, the way it was in the ancient world, which kind of hurts me, it still gives us the chance to build character and teaches us important life lessons, and that makes it truly valuable today. But sports have more than just an impact on just the individual. In our society, where culture has been homogenized and relegated to the periphery, sports remain one of the last bastions of shared culture. They're ritual and ceremony, building bonds between us as a people while proving greatness through competition. And for many of us, the way sports make us part of something bigger than ourselves and give us that sense of accomplishment is what leads to a meaningful life. It certainly did for me. Despite all the good inherent in sports, though, somehow they become corrupted and commodified. The health and happiness of athletes is often sacrificed for the sake of profits. Oligarchic owners use stadium scams to fleece fans and taxpayers, and politicians use sports as tools to assert their authority and divide nations. Yet, there is one arena where sports remain pure, unadulterated by money and power: Division III athletics. Yeah. You guys are part of it. And what would make the Greeks proud is joining the university, whose goal is the highest attainment of knowledge and wisdom. And as you all know, there's no better place for that than the University of Chicago. Yeah. And I'll always be grateful that I had the opportunity to play sports at a place that so perfectly embodies the ideals of athletics and academics. Now, for most of us who play sports at the U of C, we weren't necessarily the most formidable athletes, nor the most genius scholars. But those people who still believed in the classical roots of the liberal arts saw past that and invited us to be part of this great institution. And now, many of those former athletes are leaders in their communities and society and the world. And that's in a large part thanks to the coaches and professors that they had at the U of C. And for me, and many others I'm sure, the experience at the University of Chicago didn't just make us better scholars and athletes, but better people. So thank you all for continuing to make the University of Chicago a place that maintains the integrity of athletics, a place that prides itself on the highest academic achievement, and a place where we can still be heroes. And thank you all for giving me the honor of a place in its Hall of Fame.